Oh my goodness, we are live. I'll do a little countdown here, actually.
Oh, great.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. We are here with Stijn Bernaer. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, Bernaer, but
Bernaer. I
it's okay.
apologize.
I'm all fine with it. So.
Okay, great. Well, we're here with Stijn. He is a former corporate IT employee, transitioned into entrepreneur, business owner, software owner, and creator. And today, I'm super excited for him to be sharing his software extension that helps people to stay more focused and be more conscious about how they spend their time, and inevitably allowing them to have more fun and get more done. And I'm so stoked to have you here, Stijn. If anyone's on here live, go ahead and drop a hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. Drop lots of hearts, lots of likes, lots of cares, lots of laughs. And Stijn, I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey, how you ended up doing what you're doing now, and where you started.
Yeah, sure. So how far do you want me to go back?
Right, from the very beginning. Where
Okay.
were you born?
Well, yeah, I was born in Belgium, so that's one of the smaller countries in Europe. So, and yeah, as a kid, I'd love playing around with things, as I think most kids, and use my creativity and yeah, use my inspiration. So I used to build like roller coasters in Lego, and I was also intrigued by how stuff works in general. So I was like breaking things of my parents, like the alarm clock, and then trying to fix it. So yeah, it made sense for me to go in that route of exact science and finally engineering, and finally also IT, because yeah, in IT you can learn a lot. In engineering you learn how stuff works, and whilst on school you work on projects so you can use your imagination and so on. So finally I started my first job, and that was kind of cool because it was in kind of a research team where you still can use your imagination and creativity. But then I landed in a real big corporation, which was also very cool in the beginning, because in a big corporation you get to know lots of things, technology, lots of people you meet. So that's also cool. But as with most corporations, after a while you've seen it. You've learned everything, quote unquote, but you also you need to draw within their lines. So the creativity part that I used to have as a child, and while I was doing my school path, yeah, that there was no room. So I felt kind of unfulfilled, and started thinking about starting a side hustle, and so that kickstarted my entrepreneurial path. In the beginning, it was kind of not that risky because it was just a side hustle, but yeah, at a certain point, I took the leap and went all in, so to speak. But at that time, it was kind of scary also, because most people, at least the people that I was surrounded by at that time, most of them just said, yeah, that's the scariest thing you could ever do. But at the time also I became a father, and there was kind of the need for more flexibility, more freedom, and that gave that extra push to just jump and go all in the entrepreneurial path. So
Wow.
that's
Can I ask you a question about so you said you started like a side hustle or you were drawn to that. Like what kind of came up in your life that you were like, "Oh, like I could start a business on the side?"
yeah, because I wasn't super fulfilled at that time.
Mhm.
I was looking around on the internet and
Okay.
saw things like a smart passive income of Pat
Mhm.
Flynn,
Yeah,
the
that's fun.
4 hour week, and that inspired me and got me thinking and realizing that there is more than just the normal standard 9 to 5 corporate job.
Mhm.
But yeah, those guys like Pat Flynn were the proof that you can have
That you can have.
flexibility, freedom, and you can do your own thing. You can be your own boss. So yeah,
Okay.
so that inspired me at that time.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
It's fantastic. I was just curious because like I feel like a lot of people they come into this space of entrepreneurship from all different
yeah,
places, and so I'm always
yeah,
curious
true.
about how they kind of were introduced to it. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
And then so then at some point you were like, I'm gonna dive into this. I'm
yeah.
gonna go full in. What was that transition like when you were like, I'm going all in? Like how long did it take? What did it look like? You know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the beginning, it was tougher than I thought because in my mind, it was like, okay, now I start as a full time entrepreneur. People will knock on my door and ask for my services, but that's not that way. So, what I did as a side hustle was building websites, doing marketing for companies.
hmm
So setting up ad campaigns in Google, in Facebook, and so on. And yeah, I thought so. That's one pillar, and uh, parallel to that, I started another pillar that's more the passive automated income, but um, more about that later, I guess. But yeah, I was expecting, okay, people will just knock on my door and say, Stan, I need you, but that was tougher than I thought. So yeah, I went to network events, gatherings, and saying, hi, my name is Stan, blah, 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 and can
is
I
that
do something for you, and blah, blah. And that pays off after a couple months, after people start recognizing you. And so I still have a good context of people that I met um, at that time. But yeah, here in Belgium, it's more like if I've never seen you, uh, you're not real. So it's important that people saw you at least once. So
right?
yeah,
Okay.
and but yeah, that's of course very labor intensive work. If you're just a one man show, you have to
Yeah.
do the sales, you have to do the job, and so on. So
And so how long did that so you said you were doing it for a couple of months before it started paying off. How long was that phase when you were doing websites, you were doing ad campaigns, how long, because are you still doing those?
yeah, I still do it,
Oh,
and
you still do it?
I still enjoy it because some of my customers, yeah, I like the social interaction
Mm-hmm.
basically. So whilst if you're doing a project on your own or for your own in the more passive or automated income, yeah, you're often alone with it, and that's okay. It has other benefits, but I still like the drive you create when you're talking with customers. But of course, it's one on one, so you can't scale it, and yeah, you can't scale it basically, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you
So
still are paid more or less by the hour,
right.
although you could
You could
get paid more.
outsource, you could
Yeah,
delegate and things like
yeah,
that, but
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
there's like a gap in between
Yeah, yeah,
to like
there
be
is.
able to kind of fully go into that.
There is a
Yeah.
limit. Also,
Yeah. And so, okay, so you were doing web development, you still are, web development, ads, and then how did Chrome extensions and software kind of come
Good
into
question.
your world, and how did you start doing that?
Yeah, so I've kind of always been technical. So in the corporate job, at first I was really developing software. In my first job, also during my education, I learned about IT. So software isn't new, but actually before I jumped into the software world, Chrome extension world, I did a couple of other automated passive businesses, and one was SEO. So I had literally like hundreds and hundreds of websites that I just quickly set up in WordPress and try to rank in Google. And then I monetized those by sending the traffic to a local e-commerce like Amazon, but then here local. And yeah, that went pretty well. And at some point, the e-commerce company said, "Okay, we don't like what you're doing. You're sending lots of traffic. That's fine. You're earning lots of commissions because it's an affiliate marketing business. But we don't like it." So what I was basically doing is I was setting up those ugly websites. I didn't care because the only thing that I wanted the visitor to do is to go to the company. So it's, in my eyes, it was an advantage that those were just ugly websites. So I could have a pop-up saying, "Okay, visit here to buy this product, blah, blah, blah." So, but yeah, I get it from their point of view. Visitors land on my ugly websites, they click, and then they are faced with another brand, which can kind of confuse people. Sure. But
interesting.
Yeah.
So you had hundreds of these websites?
Yeah.
And they were all.
I made, because I'm quite technical. I had this product database that you basically get from the company, and then I made kind of taggy script things that just more or less automate the website creation, and you have like hundreds of websites with all kind of products. And so I got quite some traffic to those websites. So
wow,
that was, it went pretty well. So it was a lot of work to set up, but once it was running, it was automated income. But yeah, then you're dependent on this third party, and then they can say no. And so that was
that's what happened.
That's what happened, and same happened more or less. So I was also into pay-per-lead business.
Okay.
So I set up Google Ads, for example, for pest control. So people complain, for example, about raccoons in their attic. And so I put up like those ads, raccoon in your attic, blah, blah, blah. Call this number. So people call that number, and I got paid per lead, basically.
Right.
And that went also pretty well until you can put some music on it.
But no. I know. I wish I had some music happening right now.
And then from one day to another, it went pretty well. And from one day to another, Google shut down my account for I don't know what reason. They are very
temperamental.
Communicate. They are very. They are all the time calling you to spend more, but then if you have a problem, they are crap.
Right.
So yeah, there was another eye opener. Okay, it went well, but then again, I was relying on again a third party for the traffic generation part. In the first example, it was for the offering, the monetization part. So that made me thinking, okay, next business model that I go after should be less dependent on a third party, and Chrome extensions came to my on my path, and I joined a class the Chrome Boss community
Mm-hmm.
of Kim Dang, where I basically met you, and then so that's how I came finally into the Chrome extension world. Because you're less dependent. You can have your own product and you can do your own monetizations. Of course, you have to do your own traffic generation as well, but it feels more like you're more in control.
Right.
So that's
You own it.
You own it. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, because in the previous examples, you were just passing by the traffic, and so you own it. That's good.
Wow.
Rephrase. And so
what a tale.
Yeah.
it took all that work, two or three times of, depending on a
building
third
up
company, and then you're like, you know what, I need to do it myself.
Yeah.
And so you created. Which I know you have a few Chrome extensions. Which one did you create first?
Domain Tube.
Okay,
and it was more like
what does Domain Tube do?
Well, Domain Tube solves the problem if you have an ID, a business ID, and it has to do with mics, for example. If you go look it up, mic.com is probably taken.
It's taken. I know it is. Yeah.
No. but so Domain Tube lets you combine popular words and make all kind of combinations, and then look up which of those are still available. So you can have prefixes like e or online, and then you have your main keyword like mic, music, sound, and then you have your suffix like pedia or flix or whatever, and then the Domain Tube makes all kind of combinations of these. So for example, e-mic-pedia and .com, e-mic-pedia.net, and so on. And then it gives that lists and checks one by one which is still available for registration, so at a lower cost. And
that's awesome.
and sometimes you find
fun names that you wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah, indeed, fun names and indeed.
Awesome.
So
well,
but that was more to get my feet wet in the Chrome extension, because the extension itself is quite simple, but that was a good way to go through the process of outsourcing it, putting on the Google Web Store, and because all Chrome extensions are centralized on the Google Web Store, and then thinking about monetization. And in this case, I'm not yet. What I put in place as monetization is, if people find a domain that's still available, they click on it, they go to those domain providers like Namecheap and Bluehost. So and after that link there is, or behind that link there is my affiliate link. So that's the monetization. But I should drive more traffic towards.
That's a need. People need domain names.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
If you're on here live, or if you're listening to this later on, we're on here with Stijn Bernaer.
Just say Stan.
I'll just Stan. He's on here. We're on here with Stan.
Keep it simple.
And he is the creator of Focus to Flow, Domain Tube, and Chromeflix as well.
Yeah.
And I would love to. So we just learned a little bit about Domain Tube, got your feet a little wet, and then what happened next? What's the next piece of the story?
I think that's Chromeflix then, or at least the initial conception of Chromeflix, because I was looking at good ideas for Chrome extensions, and you can look in that marketplace that Google gives you, the Google Web Store, but it's so difficult to filter things. You can do a search, but it's not user friendly to use it as a research tool. So as a soft creator, software creator, software owner, you want to have kind of a research tool. So what I did is I used again my tech skills.
And so just to make sure, you've programmed these yourself, right? You didn't hire a developer?
No, okay. For that, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I scraped the Chrome extensions and get the data, put it in a huge database, where I then finally could say, okay, give me the Chrome extensions that in the last 2 weeks got traction by their review growth or their daily users growth and so on. So that gives you a more behind the scenes idea of which Chrome extensions are getting traction. So and that gives you again inspiration. Okay, if that type of Chrome extensions are doing well in the Chrome App Store, I might do something similar. So examples of extensions that are doing very well in terms of user base growth are VPN like things, and those are kind of hard to go after if you're just a smaller company. But there are things like screenshotting web pages, which is kind of more simple. So, but those extensions sometimes get a crazy amount of downloads. So that's
sometimes the simplest extensions that
like lately I saw a mouse cursor, so it just gives you the option to change the mouse cursor to a cat or whatever. So, and I thought,
oh wow, yeah, that's something that you need. That's like a need, you know. It's like it's not a want anymore. You need to change your mouse cursor, obviously. That's awesome.
But I made that for myself and then show it to some Chrome bosses, and they said, okay, that's really great. And I thought, oh, okay, so let me build it, because in the beginning it was like basically more or less an Excel list, and so now I build it in an online tool which can be found at chromeflix.net. And that's, by the way, a name that came out of the domain tube. Because I had Chrome, and then I have things like Flixpedia, blah 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 blah, and so on.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. And so it allows people, if anyone's interested in getting into Chrome extensions or finding out more about them, they could go to chromeflix.net. And they could just kind of see the trends of what's happening.
And I also have built in an ID generator. So if you hit that button, it just gives you 3 random popular Chrome extensions. And that allows you to just open your mind. If you really don't care which niche or kind of topic you want to go into or just get inspired, you can just hit that button a couple of times and sometimes
that's awesome.
Are amazed which kind of Chrome extensions that just exist. So that's
I need to use it more. I think I'm a user, but I need to like go and really dig in because it's so interesting. So I want to transition a little bit to really why I have you here today. The cream of the crop Chrome extension that you've created to help people to be more productive, to focus, and like, what is this? Is this really focus to flow? Is that really what you're focused on right now?
Yeah, indeed, that's my my main focus in terms of extensions.
Okay.
So, and there, it was basically solving. I wanted to solve a need that I had myself. Like a good example is, sometimes you just want to quickly look something up on Facebook, like the birthday of someone or where they are located at. And the task should probably take less than a minute, I guess. But then often, I just found myself like a half hour later. Okay, I'm still on Facebook, checking out pictures of holiday of my friends. Why? So
I don't know. I do that too. There, and I don't understand why.
And let me say, it's not your fault.
Oh, wow, thank you.
And why is it not your fault? Because yeah, of course, those platforms like Facebook, like shopping websites, like YouTube, they are designed to keep you on their platform because yeah, they are
That's how
getting
they make money.
revenue. Yeah, the longer you stay, the more revenue and profit they get. So it's not your fault. So that's that's one
Yeah,
thing.
it's the websites that we're on right now that you might be watching this or listening
Yeah,
to this on. It's designed to keep you here forever.
but stay here for
Stay
this
here. Yeah, stay
interview.
here for this one. Don't turn on his extension yet.
Yeah,
So, how does the extension work exactly?
yeah,
And, you know, yeah, how does it work?
yeah. So I pitched the idea to a couple of friends and or yeah, ask their advice and they say, okay, most of those extensions that exist already completely block or allow you to go on Facebook, for example, or YouTube or Wikipedia or Amazon, whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, like you and me, we use Facebook also for our business. So it should not just completely block off Facebook, but something in between. So what Focus to Flow basically does for you, you can give it a list of websites that you know you are losing your time on, time-consuming websites. So you first
Hmm.
enter those, and then let's say we enter Wikipedia. You go to Wikipedia, and the moment you go there, you get like this pop-up that says, okay, what do you want to do, and how much time do you want to spend? And it sounds simple, but it makes you very conscious about your time. And yeah, science has proven that if you're very conscious about your time, yeah, that you tend to be more productive. And I
Right.
don't know if you know, like the law of Parkinson, which
Hmm.
says if you have a task and you give yourself like five hours, you will complete in those 5 hours. But if you give yourself like 1 hour, you complete that same task in 1 hour. So it's yeah, it uses that law also to a certain extent by saying, okay, how much time do you want to spend? And
Right.
if you say like 10 minutes, for example, you get a pop-up, a notification. Okay, are you still busy with this task? If yes, you can extend the task. If no, you can you are friendly brought to your focus
Hmm.
by showing a motivational video that you configure, or your Trello board, or your whatever that brings you back to your focus, or you could start a new task. So yeah,
Wow.
um,
Okay. Cool. So, in a lot of ways, so I love like time tracking tools like Toggle.
yeah,
So it kind
use
of
it.
works in an opposite way of basically like if you're
Yeah,
on this website that you've determined to be not like you don't want to spend 3 hours on Facebook
no,
randomly, but so basically it's like anytime you enter that website, it shows a pop up to you and it's like, hey, I see you're on this website you didn't
yeah,
want to be on. What do you want to do here?
yeah,
And you can either choose to like type in something like a task that you're going to complete and then assign a time, or you can be like, oh yeah, I should be focusing,
yeah,
and then you
indeed,
click a
yeah,
different button and it takes
yeah,
you over
indeed,
there.
yeah.
Wow, that's
So
awesome. And what, so obviously you've been using it for yourself.
yes,
What kind of results have you seen for yourself and have you seen your users have?
yeah, it can go up to like 2 hours a day. So yeah, uh,
Wait,
yeah.
what do you mean when you say that?
Sorry.
You said it can go up to 2 hours a day?
That you sorry that you can spend on other things.
Mm,
So
okay, yeah, yeah.
distraction time, the distraction time that you can that you would
Refocus.
otherwise have spent on checking Facebook, random things on Facebook, or looking for random things on Wikipedia. Yeah, like
Getting
those things. Yeah,
yeah, getting caught in the YouTube rabbit
yeah,
hole.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah.
You go
That's
on there to
also.
watch one tutorial video
But
or look up some music or something, and then all of a sudden
yeah, indeed. But yeah, that can easily go up to 1 hour if you just completely
yeah.
lost.
And then also I don't know if you've heard this statistic or data, but it's like anytime that you get distracted from the task that you're on, it takes you 16 minutes
Okay.
approximately
Yeah.
to get back into focus
In the zone. Yeah.
onto that other task. So if you switch tasks throughout the day, even just 3-4 times,
Yeah.
you're losing an hour of productivity time. So if
Yeah.
you're constantly switching over to Facebook or YouTube or Wikipedia or Amazon, if you do that even just a few times, you've lost 2 hours of time
Yeah.
in productivity.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so also the Chrome extension gives you a timer. So if you put in like 10 minutes, it's kind of a countdown timer that you see. So you're constantly reminded of, okay, I only have 4 minutes. Let me just hurry up or speed up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because of Parkinson's law.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
basically, it's like the
Uh,
white. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, at first it was a timer that goes up, like 1 second, 2 seconds. But I got some feedback from users that said, "Can't you make it a countdown timer?" Which makes sense because it gives more urgency.
Urgency.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. That's,
So if people want to, number one, we're on here with Stan, and if you want to get the power of Focus to Flow in your hands, you can go to focustoflow.com/Michael,
Michael.
and you can get set up. I think there is a free version of it,
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. There's a free version, so that's enough to get you started, and you get a couple of websites that you can enter. But if you end up buying it, you get like unlimited websites that you can enter. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And also at the end of the day, you can look into Focus to Flow in the extension and have a history. So it also works as looking back and then seeing, okay, where did I lose or where did I spend most of my time today, and can I optimize
Yeah.
it? So
Now, why is that?
Retro.
Yeah, why is that so valuable for someone who wants to be more productive to be able to look back?
Yeah, because it's a feedback loop that you get basically. Sometimes you are amazed how much time you spent on Facebook, for example, or whatever site that you end up spending.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't monitor it, then you don't know. Actually, there's another law next to Parkinson, and it's called Pearson's law. So it says something like, if you measure something, you get more productive. So if you're just doing random things, your productivity level is like, let's say, 2. But if you measure things, like I said, Focus to Flow is tracking it. Your productivity level goes up, like, let's say, 3. But if you measure it and you monitor it, so you deliberately analyze it, your productivity level goes way beyond. It's not just linear anymore, but it's really exponential.
Okay. Can you dig into what you mean when you say like measure and monitor? Like, what can you define what you mean when you say measure?
Measure is just putting the instruments in place, and monitor is more like,
Is that reflection time?
Yeah, reflection time. That's a good word.
Okay,
I
got it.
don't know exactly how it's stated, but that's indeed the difference. Measuring is just knowing that someone or some system is tracking you. That gives that extra productivity boost.
Mm-hmm.
But if you deliberately every day look back and say, today I spent quite a lot at Wikipedia. Why is that? Let me consciously be aware of that next day.
Oh, are you okay? Was that super loud? I hope not.
No.
Okay, good. That's why I have a shock mount on here. so that it shouldn't have been too loud.
But I mentioned an important word, at least I find, for focused flow, and that's deliberate and intentionally. So when you get that pop up, it makes you very conscious. And once you type in, okay, I will do that task that minute, it makes you very deliberate, intentional about the task and your time that you will spend the next 5, 10, half hour.
So, that makes a lot of sense. Can you take me through what your day looks like? Like how you make sure that you're as productive as you can be?
Well, I'm of course learning as everybody is, but I have some key things in place. So I tend to have like a weekly on Sunday. I put just I brainstorm. I collect everything that needs to be done the next few weeks, and I try to categorize them, and then I put them already on the days more or less high level of the upcoming days, like Monday, Tuesday, and so on.
Okay.
And then every evening before for a day, I plan in more detail what those tasks will be. So that's something that I did experiments with, because in the beginning, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I thought, okay, I just get up and see what comes to me, and more like let it come. And
let the flow come through you.
More like an artist that says, okay, what should I do today? It's kind of black white, of course, that I make it, but because I was also thinking, if you do it the evening before, you put too much in your head. So that's why I thought in the beginning, or I was doing it just the morning. But actually, it's the opposite way. If you note down the things that you want to do the evening before, it kind of is kind of a brain dump, and it makes you more relaxed to go to bed, basically. And also by just writing down those tasks for the next day, you again make it very intentional. And if you get up, you don't leave any doubt, or you just have to do it. So you don't have to think, okay, what should I do, and blah blah blah. It's just there, just do it, more or less. It's kind of and so, but
your mind can subconsciously also think about
indeed.
how you're going to do it.
Yeah, indeed, that's a good one. So, but before noon, I try to do the most important tasks. So I deliberately choose the things that I should absolutely do, and most of the time, those are the things that I feel kind of not at ease. So, like in my case, it's like being loud about what I have to sell, quote unquote. I've created focused flow, I've created this and that, but those thoughts being there already written down makes it leave no clue. Easier. I just need to do it
because it leaves nothing to the imagination.
No, indeed,
You say, oh, like this is the checklist of things I need to do. I guess I might as well do them, since this is what I said I would. Yeah. I think it kind of has to do with your word and your integrity to yourself. If you tell yourself, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then you don't do it, you feel like this. You feel dis-ease. You feel more dis-ease than when you actually do what you said you were going to do. Even if that feels uncomfortable, you're like, hey, I'm following through on my word.
Indeed.
Wow.
And I like to give me a bonus then if I completed that, like going for a run or do something creative, something that will not be as that something that is not as important for my business, but at least that I can use my imagination, my creativity. So that's kind of a
Well, what kinds of things are those? What do you do for fun? What do you enjoy? What is
running,
Okay.
playing guitar, juggling with
Oh, wow.
circus.
That's
But
awesome.
sometimes also just a random project that might become something. Like for example, Chromeflix. At some point, it was just something aside
Yeah, just
that I wanted to create. But you see, in this case, it has grown a little bit bigger than I thought initially, and
that's awesome.
yeah, it is.
And so, yeah, that's amazing. I love that you play guitar and then you juggle and you go for runs. Love that. I like playing guitar myself. That's what I do kind of for fun.
Yeah.
I guess what's in the future, Stan? Like what's coming up? How do you see yourself 10 years from now, 5 years from now? You see yourself drinking? I do as well.
I talk so much.
Oh, yeah.
Too much. And also, it's the end of my day, so my voice is kind of. But that's okay. No,
Well,
I like the. No worries. What I for sure want to do is build my my digital assets. So Chrome extension, I see them as assets. And the more you have like those assets, in my opinion, the better. I for sure I like the business of Chrome extensions. Excuse me. Creating them is less a problem for me, but it's marketing those that's a bigger challenge for me. But yeah, that's something we all have to learn. So
yeah. So you see yourself making more Chrome extensions.
Yeah,
and promoting the ones that you have. Yeah,
and a Chrome extension or something similar like that, like simple software.
That's what I was about to ask. Do you see yourself making more, I guess, fully fledged, either web software or desktop applications,
perhaps
mobile applications?
I'm not sure. How I see it is I will just create some Chrome extensions and see how it goes. Because also Chrome extensions, I see them as, you can make money, recurring money from them. So that's interesting. And Chrome extensions are not that complicated. Like it's not a Microsoft product or whatever, big enterprise product. So it's kind of digestible and easy to tap into. That's one thing. Another thing is it can just act as a lead magnet. For example, I ran into Focus to Flow. Perhaps, there is some other product to create around about productivity. I'm already talking with some productivity gurus that can do coaching around that, and so the Focus Flow just becomes a lead magnet to something bigger. And also another thing why I find Chrome extension very interesting is because so I'm not a productivity guru per se, although as an entrepreneur you kind of have to be interested in productivity. But just by having like this Focus to Flow gives you already kind of a expert status. Like, oh, this guy has a productivity tool. He must be good. It's like nowadays you can also just publish books on Amazon, on Kindle. You write a Word document and you upload it, and you have a book, and you're an author. But that gives you immediately that kind of expert status.
Level up, expert status. Yeah.
And so I just named like 3 good reasons why to go into Chrome extensions. Just to say, it's a model that feels good for me to go more broad in, or more build my
Your suite.
assets there. Yeah, my suite. Because also I have this technical background, which helps in communicating with developers. It's less dependent of third parties, like the two examples that I gave. So yeah, and take it from there. If I see one extension just blows up, you might investigate at that point. Okay, are there upsell possibilities?
Right. What's the next problem that you can solve?
Yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
The problem behind the problem.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So, so you can. I see. So what I'm hearing is that you're going to continue to basically just double down on marketing your Chrome extensions that you currently have, and then potentially working on maybe like pro or upsell versions of these other extensions that have other features that are along the same lines, but also possibly something else, like totally something broad and new.
Yeah, indeed.
And then, what about in your, in your lifestyle or in your, outside of business, how do you see the future kind of transforming? Like what do you see for you as far as, adventure and, freedom, flexibility?
Well, those are the two exact words that I wanted to speak about. Is freedom and flexibility. So why Chrome extensions? Why did I do the paper leads, the hundreds of websites? Basically to gain that freedom. Are we still live? Because
with
you freeze a little bit, Michael, but so you freeze a little bit. Michael? Okay, we're still live, so we'll just continue, though I don't hear Michael. So I was saying freedom and flexibility are two important words for me. And actually, when I was doing those hundreds of websites and I was doing the pay-per-call campaigns, me and my family, so we have two kids, went on a road trip through America, and that's whilst I was earning that money from pay-per-lead and e-commerce commission. So that's the lifestyle that I want to go after still. So my passive income part has dropped, but I want to still build that up. So, Michael. And Michael is letting me know that his internet connection is not working 100%. So I just wait a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, if someone has questions, I can read the chat. So feel free to just ask your question, something that you still want to know about my journey, about Chrome extensions, or something else. Just let me know. So whilst I'm waiting for Michael, I will just say, if you want to reach out to me, just hit me up on Facebook. yeah, you can add a friend request. You can send me a friend request and we can talk from there. If you want to find out about products we were talking about this show, you can go to domaintube.net. So that's the software that allows you to come up with lots of domain names that are still available for registration. Then the other one is chromeflix.net, which is basically
Let's see.
back.
Hey, we're back.
I was just randomly talking to
Oh,
the people that were still live, so I was resuming where they could find me. I was talking, repeating domaintube.net and chromeflix.net, where people can learn more about Chrome extensions and the IDs. And then, of course, my premium Chrome extension, which is focus2flow.com/Michael. And then, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened over here, but I'm glad
Yeah.
that you. I think it
Took over.
It might have still been. It probably is still live. So that's
Yeah, it was
fantastic.
because someone said that I still was live, so I continued talking. So yeah.
Oh, great. Well, that's fantastic to hear. Well, thanks.
But yeah, you were asking me about freedom and flexibility, so that
Yeah.
are indeed my or that's indeed my envisioned lifestyle. And I was talking whilst I still had that passive income of those mass websites and those paper leads campaigns. So actually, me and my family did a road trip in America for 1 month, and whilst money was coming in, and that's something that I want to go back to, basically, and Chrome extensions will lead me finally to that path. So now I'm still doing my client work, which is okay. Like we said in the beginning, I still like this social interaction and so. But yeah, I'd like to build out more that passive automated income as well, where you put in quite some work up front, but then it can just keep generating your revenue. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that so much, Stan.
Yeah,
we're coming to the close here, and I'd love to hear. I really have 2 short questions for you.
Sure.
You can take as long as you'd like to answer them, but what is something in your life that you're really grateful for this year, today, whatever you'd like to?
Well, good question. Well, basically, I'm very grateful for the lockdown period, because, like I said, I have 2 kids. They are. I have to think, because each year it changes.
Each
7,
year
7, 8.
Getting older.
Yeah. So I have to update it also in my mind. So 7 and 9, and actually, because they were homeschooled for a quite long period. It was a fun period, because suddenly we had more time as a family. So we went to the forest and do things that we otherwise would not do during our quote unquote busy life. So that's something that this year I was very grateful. So, and it goes along with the same words that we mentioned a couple minutes ago: freedom, flexibility. That's something that I value a lot, and especially if you can do that together with your family, your loved ones, that's fantastic. So
yeah, I love that. And then what is something, it's probably along the same vein, but what is something that gives you joy in your life?
Yeah, creativity. So I'd like to put a solution from there, and use my creativity and imagination to make something bigger out of it. So it can be technical, like in the world of Chrome extension, where you put that idea, take that idea and combine it to something that gives me, because I like to be very creative and use my imagination, so I can, I become very happy of those things. Yeah. Mm.
All right, I love that. All right, a surprise third question.
Oh wow.
I know, I'm shocking the airwaves right now. Um, what is any kind of final parting advice to anyone watching who's either thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or is an entrepreneur right now, or wants to just have more freedom and flexibility in their life? You know, what advice would you give to them?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just do it and keep going after it. I guess it's not always how do you say it? Roses and
Yeah,
moonshine. Is it that
flowers.
expression?
I don't know. Yeah,
Flowers.
something
It's
like
not
that.
all beauty,
Yeah,
but
what is it? Roses and something. I don't know.
yeah. Anyways, in our language we say roses and moonshine. But good. Anyways, so it's not always that easy.
Yeah.
Like I told with the e-commerce website and with paper lead business. But yeah, finally you're still learning, and if you keep doing the things that you feel you should do, yeah, you're in the good direction basically. So just do it and yeah,
I
keep
love it.
digging. Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Just do it and keep digging. I love it. Keep going in the
yeah,
direction.
absolutely.
We've been on here with Stan. Stan, thank you so much for being on here. If you would like
Well,
to get Focus to Flow, go ahead to focustoflow.com/Michael. And if you want to connect with Stan, you can connect with him on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and I'll link to that somewhere down below. And yeah, go out there, everyone that's listening, and be your greatest contribution to the world, because
absolutely.
you can change the world. So, Stan, thank you so much. We're going to close it out right here. I'm going to hit the finish button, and
Okay.
thank
Thanks
you
for having
again.
me, Michael. It was fun to talk with you.